We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
It's about time you noticed I've had him on the last 3 weeks.
Well, you didn't have him on last time.
I did.
Well, I guess you did. There's a picture of you right there.
You're looking at it. Speaking of which, I just got the video loaded, and my fault. Between me and our chief of production, both of us were a little lax in our video post production this week. So I unfortunately forgot to upload it until, well, it is Thursday this week. So that's 4 days late. So I apologize to all of you who just now finished last week's video and probably jumping into this week's video, that I was nascent in my video posting duties. I said duty.
Duty. I don't have duty anymore.
You don't?
No, I'll talk about that in a second. So it's cool the way our studio, the expansion really worked out well. I'm noticing though the expansion crack in the wall is prominent, so it's working.
How did it play out? I didn't check.
It doesn't show up on the expansion crack's not there.
Oh, that's weird. Interesting. It is odd that both our backgrounds are similarly
that's
decorated.
Not background. We're in the same.
Well,
studio.
I meant the back of our studio is similar.
Well, and the fact that we're in two different states, I guess that is kind of awkward.
Yeah, traveling back and forth has been a bit tedious. But so, next week you'll have to come my way.
Yeah, I'll walk over to your studio, so like this.
So anyhow, these are my official new readers.
They're not. Are they a brand?
Yeah, they're Oakley.
Okay.
They were $300.
You paid $300 for readers?
Yes and no. Our eye insurance comes with $300 every year. We get $300 credit for a new pair of glasses. So these frames were it was like $340 altogether. These are Oakley's, man. I'm styling.
You need a skateboard or surfboard.
Or surfboard, one of the two. The surfboard won't do well in Charlotte.
No.
It's kind of restrictive.
Yeah.
But I could look good if I just walk down the street with it like under my arm.
Just put it on top of your car. Surf's up, dude.
You know, Brad has a story when he was a kid. They lived in Houston and they would travel to the beach. You know, it was an hour and a half away. And one time they found a surfboard. So that became their de facto. They didn't know how to surf, but they used it as a flotation device at the beach. So they would tie it to the top of the car every time they went. And he said one time so he's one of three. And so there were five of them and they had a station wagon, and he used to ride. He was the youngest. So he would ride in the middle seat between his parents on the way, to the beach or whatever. And he said he remembers going over a bridge and they had the surfboard tied to the top of the car. And he remembers his dad going, "Oh shit." And looking behind. And the surfboard came out and went through the windshield of the car behind him.
And that's where his career of careening into stuff began.
Yes, it began. The hell wagon started.
Yeah, let's get a Granada and run over Bob's barricades. Gee, Merry Christmas. It wasn't until buddy hit the third one I said, this thing could come through the windshield. I'm going to get under the dash.
We'll have to tell that story someday of the hell wagon.
We're going to have to get a release, though, I think. I don't know if statute of limitations.
I think Bob's barricades sold out. So
they went to plastic. I'm sure they had a couple of angle irons going through people's window.
Going through certain vehicles. But anyhow, so yeah. I should walk around the streets of Charlotte with a surfboard like I'm on my way to the beach, be up with flip-flops or something. Hey.
Surf's up, dude.
Hey, what are you doing? So anyhow, well, you're getting prepared for something.
Yeah, big trip. Our buddy Chris, right?
Well, this isn't international though.
No, but he can appreciate the angst that I'm going through. Maybe he's doing it in his back of the neck of the woods.
I haven't seen him in a few weeks, so I don't know.
Well, Chris, if you're listening, feel my pain, brother. It's FBLA. It's almost like Hell Week. So I got 10 kids. I could talk a little bit about this. Yeah,
10.
10. I think I had 8 last year. 10's the limit.
I think he has like 100, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, he's got people. I'm a one-man show. So I got 10 and I'm happy to do that. So
That's more than I would want. There's got to be a parent child ratio though, right?
1 to
By the
10.
state. Really?
Yeah.
It's that
So
I'm impressed.
so what happens is it's 1 to 10, which I meet the criteria, and then I've got a gal who's my boss, call her. She's the head of the CTE department over what I do. And she and I are good friends. She's going to be there. Her daughter's a teacher like I am at a high school. And so she's kind of what we call a floater. She moved, she's our team mom, so to speak. So she'll be there. But yeah, we got it covered. I just loaded the kids into the chat, text chat.
Right.
Um,
Is it called shoot? What's the name of the one they screwed up with this week? You putting the war plans out on a group
oh
chat.
yeah, the signal chat. Yeah,
Say each put it on signal chat.
yeah, we're got a signal chat for the FBLA chapter.
Just make sure you don't put any reporters on.
Oh, they're gonna get my chat in Washington. They'll be going, what is this? So anyway, we're leaving 8 o'clock in the morning via bus, big charter bus.
Are you driving?
No. We're taking the county. We pay dues.
Because
Member
normally you
dues.
drive, correct?
Well, so we have a district event that happens in Jacksonville, about 30 miles away.
Right.
And that one I get a van and I drive up because I got 10 kids, so we get 2 vans and drive them up. And then once we qualify out of districts, the next thing is state. And so we're going to meet in Orlando. There's 6,000 kids going to be down there at this hotel. And so the county, because we pay dues, all the district, I don't know how many kids that is, but on my bus, there's 40 kids on my bus. So we all, somewhere in our due structure, we paid for a bus. I don't know how we do it, but the county chips in some money too. And so we'll take a coach down, and then they drop us off at the hotel, and then we're stuck, and then we don't have anywhere to go anyway. And then we'll stay Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then check out Monday at 7 o'clock.
Oof, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's it's really 24/7. You're on.
How many kids are there? You said 2,500?
There's 6,000 total. Now my hotel is the host hotel.
Ugh.
And the ones there's 3 other overbooked hotels.
So you got 4 days of thousands of adolescent
Oh yeah,
kids running around your feet. You get off the bus, you're like, ladies, I'm here.
No, it's not happening. Yeah, this is where I told you the stories a long time ago about the elevator stuff going on. The what do you call it? The code of ethics on how to get on and off an elevator. So there'll be some people learning.
When you teach
by
your
the
kids.
nape of the neck and say, "Get out." No, anyway, it's going to be fun. I had to lay down the law in our meeting this morning, put a little fear of Dave into him. But
I use that tactic as well.
Yeah, I just let him know. I said, "Look, I just don't want to have that phone call where I got to call your parents at midnight, and then me and you are going to sit in the lobby till 3 o'clock, wait until they get there, and I'm going to have a smile on my face because
Right.
it's not
Getting
fun.
rid of them.
I think they get the idea. So that's enough about that. They're all good kids.
Cool. Well, they should be, right? I mean, it takes a certain level of responsibility to get this far, I would think.
Well, that, and I've done a pretty good job of culling them. So when we have our beginning meetings before everyone joins up, I just basically say, listen, this is not one of those clubs that you join just to get your picture in the yearbook. This is not, it's going to be fun, but I don't need to handhold anybody. I want self-starters. I want people that, are willing to try stuff and get up and figure it out instead of standing around going, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm good at running some people off. So usually I run off about 5 or 10 of them.
Mister, get my order right to the
Yeah,
drive-through lady before she's even had a chance to put your order together.
She's hawking loogies in my coffee at that moment. She says, "I got it right, buddy."
She's like, she's
Anyone
looking
got
at
a
it.
cold? Come over here.
We got a winner.
There's some sort of code. Yeah.
So, well, so does anybody pitch a business idea? Is that any of the competition? Or is it there's a test, I remember, and then there's a debate, I remember, something like that?
No,
I should know by now. You've told me 1,000 times.
no, there's tons of topics. I've got the folder over here. Is exploring. There's tons of them.
So what I was getting, the angle I was getting at, any great business ideas ever come out of one of these?
Well, you know what? The guy apparently, I think it's true. Well, he might not have been FBLA. There's another group called TSA.
Facebook. No,
it's called TSA. Believe it or not, it's not the airport people,
right?
but it's robotics and coding. Well, the guy that started YouTube was a TS. I think he was either FBLA or TSA. I think he was a TSA guy, and he pitched this idea of having videos. He pitched YouTube when he was a kid, like in high school or college.
All right.
And that's how it started.
I enjoy YouTube. I am a YouTube watcher. You know, it's tough to get.
Well, you know, we're on YouTube.
What?
We're on YouTube.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't know that. Well, if you're on there, subscribe if you would, please. We need to get our numbers up. You know, it's hard to get started on YouTube, but once you get a few subjects loaded into the algorithm, they're fairly good at finding content that would entertain you. And you know, it's anywhere between, generally speaking, 15 and 30 minutes are most videos. So it's like watching a sitcom, essentially, you know, time you do a sitcom or something like that. So it makes for good. I enjoy it whenever if I'm bored and there's no sports on it. Generally, I'm on YouTube watching videos about how to build something, how to make something, or.
Do you have a go-to list?
I have my subscription list, but now I have about, I don't know, 50 to 100 subscriptions in there. One of which is We Can Help with Dave and Woody.
Yeah, that's not a bad show.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one, actually.
When it comes on, I watch it.
They're up if it ever comes on. They're up and comers. I hear a lot of good things about them.
Well, their audio apparently is Spotify Top 100.
Really?
Well, it's heading that way.
Were shows recorded on Thursdays between the hours of 7 and 8 p.m.?
Yeah, what they say is it's nowhere but up.
You know, we talked about this last time, but we really do need everyone's help. We appreciate you listening. We could use some help in getting the word out about the show. I do truly think there is merit for offering this show up to your friends and family as potential entertainment.
Okay, I'm going to give you one last chance to quit doing that.
What's that?
So that what he just proposed, because I don't say pitch, what he just proposed and presented is a sales presentation, if you will. You being the listener, the customer, potential customer, he's asked for your order, and your order is to subscribe. That's all there is. There's no money involved. Doesn't cost you 1 red cent, and you better get on it because we're not going to have any red cents left over after this deal. So not 1 silver nickel. Okay, so that's one proposed sales presentation. I'd like to propose a second way of doing it. And it comes from the master marketer. Sometimes people thought of him as a carpenter, but it turns out he was a master marketer. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh,
and so
because you said carpenter, that's why.
So if you're not familiar with how he rolled in the marketing world, and I don't mean to be sacrilegious by no means, but when he performed miracles throughout his 3-year journey during his discipleship that we know about, do you know what he told people when he finished the miracle? What was the comment he told everybody around him?
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
I got 2 right now. Boy, I'm sounding like I paid attention.
It's a twofold close. And let me tell you what it is. So the reason he didn't want you to tell anybody is because he was Christ, the Lord, God. And he didn't want everyone to think of him as a showman or a magician. And so the last thing he had in mind was, okay, I'm going to make this guy see. We're going to rub some mud together and stick it in his eyes. I'm going to call him up from the dead, and I'm going to raise him up, Lazarus, and he's going to stand up and walk around. I don't want you to get the word out that I'm this circus act. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to save souls. And so, but in doing so, he told his disciples and those that were following him, listen, do me a favor, don't tell anybody about this. Let's get this thing done and move on to the next journey that we're going to go to. And every time he'd pop into another town, guess what was waiting for him? Thousands of people who had heard about this. Did you hear about the guy that he was blind and he made him see, or the guy touched his cloak and now he's healed. So, again, I don't want to be sacrilegious. I'm not doing that, but I tell a lot of my clients this in my coaching business: quit pushing stuff on people. Just it's called a takeaway. That's what he did, was the ultimate takeaway. He says, you know what? Nah, you don't need this stuff. So my proposal would be, hey, listen, we're two guys that hadn't seen each other in 30 years, a couple fraternity brothers. We're getting together every Wednesday night. We're chatting, maybe Thursday night, depending on our schedule. If you're interested, pop by. If you're not, we don't care. That's all we care about. That's all we have to do. It's up to you. We're not going to force it on you. So if you enjoy it,
care a little, Dave.
Stop by and see us. If not, we really don't care.
It's a little harsh, but all right.
Come on, Dave. These are our friends.
Yeah, I know. I need these people to get the word out. I mean, we're living by word of mouth.
Woody, that's the whole point. We don't need them. Stop.
Oh, okay. All right. But we really do need you. Anyhow. All right. Well, now I forget what we were to. I mean, that's timely since we are in the Lenten season that you bring up Jesus Christ on the show. So well done.
Well, it's about the weave, Woody. Got to get the weave in there.
Oh God, here we go. You mean the hair? The weave?
Yeah.
Did you get your hair cut?
I did. I got them all cut.
Because I was listening to last week's show again, and you mentioned very briefly in there that you wanted to get a haircut, and you said it was scheduled for this week.
I was about a week. I was about 10 days over.
10 days. How often do you get a haircut?
I always ask the girl, when was I in here last? It seems like 5 weeks. I don't know.
3 months, man.
Well, I got a big head anyway. We've had that discussion, and so my hair doesn't lay down. It gets not quite an afro, but it expands. It's like a chia pet. Especially, that's why I quit showering halfway through the week, because it grows. But if I let it grow out, it's unmanageable, and I don't feel human. So.
All right. Very good. Yeah, I appear to be in the minority that I wait a very long time, but I think it's because I have very thin hair, so it never looks very full.
Yeah, I've noticed mine's thinning, but I think I've been blessed. I'll have my dad's hair. It has stuck around a pretty long time, hopefully. I don't wear hats, so that's probably, apparently hats are bad for your hair. That's what they say.
I've seen when I used to ride a motorcycle, if you wear a helmet, you're going to lose. Because I was always told that I would lose my hair by the time I was 26. So thankfully, I've doubled that at this point, or almost doubled that at this point. And so I'm very happy.
I think losing my hair with a helmet versus losing my head, the contents of it.
Yeah, it's a lot different these days to ride a motorcycle. When I was riding, it really, getting in an accident was primarily the skill of the rider. In this day and age, it's the skill of avoiding the car is essentially it. I wouldn't ride again, nor would I ask my children to do that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the 90% of the reason I did it is I could afford a motorcycle. I could ride it in Florida. You could ride with a permit by yourself. And so I could get to and from work is why I did it. So, and you didn't need insurance. You didn't need insurance. It was considered a recreational vehicle. So it was a very cheap way to mode of transportation, and you could do it at a year earlier.
Was your street legal to have lights and stuff?
Yeah, I always remember I had to work. I bought it off my brother. It was his first bike. He started the trend. But it was a Suzuki 400.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but it was single cylinder 400. Yeah, it was like a car piston in that thing, man. It shook
Was it a
so
dirt bike
bad.
or a street bike?
It was a street bike.
Yeah.
It was a four cycle Suzuki 400 single cylinder, man. That thing pumped out some energy. And then
What
later
was the
on, and
compression on that when you had to
I don't
kickstart it?
know. Oh, yeah, it wasn't too bad because that was a kickstart bike. So I learned on that. But I did, as tiny as I was, I had to make sure it was in half compression when I would put my body weight on top of that
Right.
thing. So else it'd throw me off. Then I bought a nice Honda Nighthawk 750 or 700. I can't remember, but that was a four banger. So, and that had some pep. That had a camshaft on it, actually, not even a chain. So, which
I
I
don't think I
really
knew
enjoyed.
you when you rode a bike.
I went to college. No, I
The
had sold
Camaro.
it. I sold it to a Steven in our fraternity, as a matter of fact, who was at the reunion. And I'm surprised we didn't talk about that. I sold it to him. I had it for I bought the Camaro when I first got down there because I realized dating on a motorcycle wasn't exactly wasn't going to happen very easily. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I need a car. So I took my student loan for school and I bought a Camaro.
That's a
And
good
so,
idea.
yeah, so the motorcycle sat around for a while, and then someone in the fraternity knew I had
Dr.
it.
Steve drove the motorcycle?
No, I
Dr.
don't want to
Steve?
say the last name just in case, but he was in my
Did he have a brother?
blood. Yes.
Okay.
So there you go.
I think I remember him riding
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, it was a fun bike. Way too much speed. I'd catch myself well over 100 on it occasionally. So that wasn't,
When
certain.
the odd raccoon runs out in front of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just stupid stuff. Well, I just had so much speed. I could get up to 50 across an intersection.
Oh, yeah.
So it was
Especially
amazing
that
amount of
drive
speed.
shaft on it. Good grief. There was no slippage.
No, none whatsoever. And it was
A lot of
it was a
torque.
nice bike. Yeah.
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 Brr.
So I feel blessed. I only had one accident, and that was pulling it was 17 degrees out. I pulled into the high school parking lot, and they had left the sprinklers on the night
Yeah.
before, and I hit a sheet of ice. Slid along the parking lot. That was the worst I ever did. So feel blessed.
Do you want to talk about the big dance? We're
Yeah.
out, aren't we? I'm out.
I'm essentially out because here's where we screwed up. So for those listening, we briefly talked about it last week, and then we went to spaces, and I just worked out my brackets with Dave and the thousands of others
Give or take.
that were on spaces with us. And we kind of voted, and Dave got us into the routine of taking the underdog, which worked phenomenal in the
I know.
first round. You hit on a lot of the ones I normally wouldn't have picked, and so I was in fourth place after the first round, with plenty of points and looking really good. The problem is we continued the underdog and picking in the second round.
Yeah, they caught up to us.
Yeah, I'm out. I only have one team left in the tournament at this point, and that's Tennessee. So
Well, I'm looking at. I'm
and to
like,
be honest with you, I don't.
McNeese.
They might have played today for all I know, and I'm totally out of it now that I think about it. I forgot to check. So
I couldn't find any concise. All I knew is I had St. John's still in it, and I guess Baylor. But then they're all out, right? St. John's is out. Baylor's out.
After last weekend's debacle, I haven't even paid attention anymore.
What
Like I said,
what was the problem with? All I saw was the clip. The guy coming up from UConn, like "F you." The ref screwed us or something.
oh yeah, I briefly saw that too. I guess he was complaining about the refs and swearing at maybe the opposing players.
I
Is
don't know.
what I took out of the context. Hurley, right? The guy from Duke, I think, is now the
don't know.
coach
I
of
didn't watch
UConn.
any of it. I just, it's one of those things. I caught a clip of it, and then I was
Yeah,
like,
I saw the headline and it was clickbait, so I was like, I really didn't delve into this situation very much. So, needless to say, if you took our first round picks, people, you probably did fairly well. If you continued on with our second round picks, I'm sorry.
yeah, because I circled like Drake was in it, St. John's, Gonzaga, McNeese.
Yeah, you picked a bunch of you had me pick a bunch of underdogs in that first round. It was a great round to do it. And there's always one round with the upsets, and this year it was the first round. primarily. So
After that, it got bad.
yeah, I had Creighton, in that first round, but then they lost to Alabama, maybe. Can't remember who. Anyhow,
it went down ugly after that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did have a little. We just got off a spring break. How much did you check the time?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And I got a hankering, man. Spring break, the sun's coming out, it's warming up a little bit. I'm thinking barbecue season, and I'm going to go out and buy one of those Traeger pellet grills. Disclaimer: I own 2,000 shares, so buy up.
Oh, yeah, that should pump up the stock. One more
Traeger
sale.
pellet grills by Cook. They're awesome. And
How much is this bad boy going to cost you?
Less than 1,000.
Oh, really? That's not bad.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get the Big Daddy. I've got the smoker though.
Well, that's what I want to get my wife and my son both like the grill. In fact, anyhow, long story short, I've looked at those pellet grills before as a means. Is this one time it out for you and everything?
Yeah, it does it all. It almost does everything. But here's what I'm on the hunt for. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I need a good Manatee recipe.
Just post that. Just post that in the recycler.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking. I got Manatee on the brain. I got to get me some. So slow cook.
I got a
Manatee.
fever, and there's only one.
It's spelled Manatee.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about the succulent juices that the fat's gonna as it renders down. There's got to be meat in there somewhere. I know that.
You put 100 pounds worth of Manatee on the grill. You open up the smoker 6 hours later. It's like a small silver dollars
well,
worth.
If you
of
do it right, everyone's going beef tallow, right? You have to render the beef fat down. So I'm thinking I'll get me some Manatee and render that down for face cream and putting on my boots and stuff, and I'll get a nice big fat roast out of it and cook up a Manatee too.
Well,
they're pretty easy to catch. You just gotta get them.
They're really slow. They're a bitch to reel in,
and they're grass fed. That's the whole move, right? Just a couple of heads of lettuce, you're home free.
There's no antibiotics or any kind of forcing them to eat corn or anything like that.
This is Whole Foods.
Interesting. Well, cool. Good
so if
job.
Anybody has a great recipe for smoked dry rub Manatee, bring it. That'll get us some clicks on it.
Yeah, exactly. Was that your funny story?
Yeah, I just thought about that this morning. Oh, okay. I was like, I want to bring up the Manatee.
So when's the grill come in?
That's all a big fat lie. That was just part of the bit.
I want to get Traeger out there. On there 1,000. I was like,
get the stock boosted up a little bit.
Well, I don't understand people buy those big green eggs and stuff. Those things are like $3,000, and you can still got to heat the charcoal up and everything.
I think they like the word lump charcoal.
Is that?
I don't know. I never understood that either. I'm like, this Weber I bought about 40 years ago.
It's meant to every tailgate. Yeah,
and you always go over to the house. It's out on the pool deck. They got the outdoor kitchen out there. Going, oh, you got an egg? Oh yeah, it cooks pizza the best. When's the last time? Does it? Have you ever made a pizza? I mean, seriously.
Well, yes and no. But
did you do the poppin' fresh dough? That thing?
Yeah, you throw it in the oven.
Have you made the dough and made a pizza? Probably not.
My son did a couple of weeks ago. I'll give him credit. So
was it all that?
It was. He's actually a very accomplished cook. So he does very well. He's not looking to do it for a career or anything, but luckily his spring break fell the same week that my wife went out of town, and I told my daughter, I was living here now. I said, we are so lucky he came home for spring break, because we would have been eating cereal morning, noon, and night here at the Woody household.
One spoon.
There you go.
The egg to me is likened to the guy that buys the $500,000 fishing boat to go out and catch fish. And then if you ever do the cost per pound of the fish, it's like,
yeah, but he caught it in comfort, Dave.
Yeah, I know there's more to it than that, and I'm more frugal than I should be, but I don't get it.
Do you fish?
I don't anymore. I used to be quite the fisherman. I would start off on our lake, freshwater fishing. Then I moved to saltwater fishing, of course, in the surf, and then I had a little boat I did in the St. Johns River, and what do they call it, intercoastal
Waterway.
backwater,
I fished a
redfish,
lot in the St. John's myself.
yeah,
So,
redfish, trout,
do
flounder.
you clean them and everything, or throw them
Oh
back?
yeah, yeah. No,
Ah,
I was quite
you,
I was kind of a redneck before things got settled.
kinda.
Well, I used to hunt. I did a lot of hunting for dove and turkey and hogs, believe it or not. And then I fished quite a bit. I never shot a deer. Um,
Did you
manatee.
try, or you just didn't want to?
No, I had
Shot
a
a manatee. Yeah.
well, things get slow. Um,
Get bored.
he was bugging me. No, so what happened was I was turkey hunting one morning in an oak hammock, and I was literally sitting at the base of a big live oak tree. And as you can picture this in surround these big oaks, like a big clearing, and I fell asleep. And so I had a shotgun laying across my lap, and I'm falling asleep against the oak tree. And I wake up, and dead ahead of me, due north, is this tree, and all these turkeys are roosting in the tree. And this is early on in my hunting career. I didn't know turkeys could fly, but apparently they
Well,
do.
they don't, but they can
They get
probably
themselves up somewhere.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I look to my left, and there probably 20 yards away was a buck, and then progressively closer to me were two doe. And the doe closest to me was probably 5 yards away, 5, 6 yards away. And I thought to myself, I could just slide my gun around to shoot her. I'd get myself a doe, but man, those big doughy brown eyes. I just I was like entranced. I was like, I can't shoot this thing. I don't want to. I've eaten it
What
before.
what are the rules? You can shoot any deer certain times of the year, but only males. I don't even know the
I
rules
don't
because I
know.
don't hunt.
Well,
So
I don't think they were in season, so that would have been a poach. So
yeah. All right.
you can take doe. I think they want you to take bucks more, but um,
My herd of deer in my neighborhood seems to be all does. That's why I was always surprised by that. But somehow they get pregnant, so there's a few bucks around somewhere. Obviously, some
yeah, and they got this thing in
stags.
Florida now. It's called wasting disease or something. It's a
Ugh.
big problem with the American herd.
Well,
But
send them up here.
yeah, I don't. I eat it. You know, my son-in-law kills them, and I don't have a problem with it. It's just I don't.
Yeah, I have no problem with hunting if you use the meat and everything.
Yeah, we don't.
I'm actually slightly jealous that I couldn't shoot. I could barely catch bonked a fish on the head. When you bring them out of the bucket to have them cleaned. I can't clean anything, but I it would help my uncle and stuff with the fish. I would scale them for him and stuff like that. But as
Yeah,
far as cutting them up, couldn't
well,
do
that's
that.
stinky business too.
Yeah. Um. I don't know if you know this, but it's Mariah Carey's birthday.
Mariah.
I can't stand her, but
Yeah, she and
she's a one-trick pony in my mind.
well, she's
Well,
turned a
she's
few
got
of
the
them.
high, super high falsetto. I don't call it falsetto, maybe, but super high
Yeah,
tone singing, and she has to put it in every single song, and it just gets tiring. So
yeah. I never was a big fan of hers. I think she and the chick from Quebec used to annoy me. Um, the skinny girl from Montreal, Quebec, whatever.
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion. She is annoying.
At least she has a much better voice, I'd say.
Probably more range. You know,
Yeah.
more accomplished or
She has some
trained.
sort of odd.
Disease. She's got wasting disease or something.
No, she can't.
Oh,
Is
she's
it the?
stiff.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got the stiff person disease or something like that, whatever that's called.
Well,
So,
the poor, I'll give her this. The poor thing, she married that fellow that was like 40 years older than she was.
hmm
And he went to Vegas and just gambled all of her money away.
did
And
he?
oh gosh,
I don't remember that part.
it was horrendous. And then she had this big gambling debt in Vegas. I think what they did was they said, okay, you're going to pay it off. And so she did one of those gigs where she went to Vegas, 8
Yeah,
shows a
they
day.
what do we call those? where you're there for residency.
Yeah, so she did that, and I bet they worked her into the dust, to pay off her debt. And that's, she ran out of potassium or something, and she got the stiff disease. I don't know, but I feel bad for her there. But at the same time, I can't stand her.
Yeah. I do want to go to that new arena they have out there, the Sphere. That thing it's
You
just
seen
a
that?
technological marvel.
Did you see the clip of the guy on acid or something like that? He was watching. He's standing there, and then the light, whatever the light show does on the
Right.
ceiling, he's like, "Oh my god!" and he freaks out, and he like bends over backwards. It's on. I think I saw it on Twitter or maybe Instagram or something like that. But they said don't do acid and go to the Sphere
I'm
as
sure
a
the
rule.
Dead have played there now.
Who?
The Grateful Dead have probably played the Sphere at
They
this
still
point in
alive?
time. Well, Jerry Garcia is not. The new who is it? He's a famous singer now, fronts the band. John Mayer.
Really?
Yeah, he fronts for them. I don't know if it's full-time gig, but I know he does it quite often. So I don't know how many original members are still left at this
Can't be
point in
many.
time. Yeah.
My wife's a big Deadhead.
Really? Ah,
I
I
mean,
never ever had any ambition to see the Grateful Dead in concert. Mainly because of the crowd, but two, I was never into their music.
well, she wasn't
So,
ahead of, dopey, but she
right.
she got into the. I
Did
don't
she ever
know.
go to the show?
I think she's been to one or two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a contact high at that thing. So,
Well, I always thought it was cool from a again marketing standpoint how they allowed everybody to tape their shows, and then it created this cult that you'd show up at the concert, and everybody was trading different cassettes. Like, hey man, this is it. This is in Houston, and they would like swap out recordings.
I just love the people who follow them from show to show. There were thousands
Oh yeah, they just lived like.
in trailers, in campers, and I remember when they came to Atlanta one time. I pulled into the rest stop on the way into town, and it was just absolutely full of because the Dead were playing that weekend in Atlanta, and the place was packed
You're
with
like,
Deadheads.
bar of soap, anyone?
Exactly. Well, that's probably where they were there. To get the
Get the
freshen up
shower.
before the weekend. Yeah. So, um,
Uh,
hey, before I forget, no comments on the picture I sent you this past weekend?
Oh crap.
You responded to it. I thought, yeah, you did. You sent me back a picture of your Taco Bell bag, man.
Oh, your dinner. Yeah, where were you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was at the Chop House, man.
Specifics, more specifics. In what town?
Um, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh,
They have
well,
a shop. So we went up to Tennessee this past weekend.
yeah.
We both had a 4-day weekend, so we decided to take ourselves up there and relax. And there's an outlet mall in Pigeon Forge, and I needed some. I'm an old man, so I need my Skechers. But I've worn Levi's my whole life, and there's a Levi outlet store there, which wasn't too bad. You have to buy two to make it a good deal, but I can always use two pair. But in the middle of the whole place is a chop house in a
Uh,
outlet mall. I found it so weird. It is really literally in the middle of the parking lot of this outlet mall.
is
One
it
of those.
discount steaks or something?
Well,
What?
no, it wasn't cheap, but someone someone had gotten a $50 gift certificate for the chop house, and there wasn't one where they lived, and they knew we go up to Pigeon Forge area occasionally. So like, hey, take this. So we thought, so we sent them in fact, Chris, your FPLA buddy, his
Yeah,
family donated it to us.
that's
And
nice.
so we sent them a picture of the food and thanking them, for it. And they're like, why are you at the chop house at 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday? Like, I would like the rest of the blue hairs up
The
here.
blue plate special.
Yeah.
You got to get early so you can get home.
Well, that's what we said. And if you noticed, I had a bourbon sitting on the table with me.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't survey that. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see it over
I
there.
had an
Sneaking it
old
in a bit.
fashioned, and Barb there had a margarita, and
Ah,
it was actually a very good steak. They aren't like
Looks like a
Like
sirloin.
some of the bigger places, like Ruth Chris's and stuff, where it's $50 and that's all you get is a steak, and then you got to buy your sides and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. It was $40 to $45, but you got two sides with it.
Oh,
So
that's
it was,
nice.
and it was a decent size. I got a 10-ounce
Sirloin? Looks like a
ribeye,
sirloin.
sirloin.
Ribeye,
Yep,
yeah.
sirloin.
Well,
Yeah,
nice.
and that, you know, and two sides, and it was really good sides. I had some like corn brulee it was called. That was really good, and a loaded baked potato. And so it was I speak highly of them. I think it was a good meal for, you know, a decent price, and it helped. We had a gift certificate, so you know, maybe feel a little richer. And
Everybody wins.
yes, so enjoy. And so I thought, so you know, here I send you a picture of my steak, you send back your Taco Bell bag, and I say jealous, and you're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, that was a good joke. No reaction.
You were jealous about my Taco Bell?
Yes, I said, oh, I said I'm jealous when you sent back the Taco
Yeah.
Bell bag. So
Well,
was
maybe I was feeling, less of a person since you were eating
okay.
steak and I was eating. I'm not sure what it was in
You
there.
having
Well, we
you
were
doing
too.
your cigar and Taco Bell.
No, so we were kind of doing the old couple thing too.
Oh,
Where
really?
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that, and that old couples go to Taco Bell.
Well, apparently they do because they're all on limited incomes, and so you go in there like, hey,
Well,
we
your
saw you
Social
here last
Security's
week.
getting taken away, so you know, and your
Yeah,
Medicare. So
that's what
you gotta be living cheap these days.
I just steal the sauces. I got a bottle at home. I just dump the sauces back
you
into
come
it.
you come home and you open each in a little
Yeah,
bag and squeeze it into the
that's it.
bottle.
I got a little straw
Do you
that
mix
goes
them
up in
all?
there.
Do you go mild and hot, or do you
No,
just
I
do
got a couple
mild?
different bottles. I mix
Oh,
it
you
up.
actually separate them. Very good. Very good.
So on that note, um,
We have 5 minutes.
well, I don't know if I want to end with chicken cock, but
Oh yeah, I saw that.
well, I don't know. Since you're a two screen guy, can you Google maybe? Well, hang on a second. We haven't asked Alexa. While you're doing that, Alexa, what is chicken cock? Alexa, what is chicken cock?
She doesn't want to answer
She don't like that. Okay, hold on. Alexa, what is chicken cock rye? Well, she's not picking up what we're laying down. Okay, apparently there's a rye whiskey called chicken cock, and it is Kentucky straight rye. And that's all I know about it. It looks
He
beautiful. Well, the
started
bottle does.
making James A. Miller built in 1856, built a distillery and started making chicken cock whiskey in Paris, Kentucky.
So apparently this chicken cock has tasting notes of vanilla,
They all
butterscotch, and
do.
pepper that marry beautifully with the smooth profile of cedar, cashew, and coffee bean Ashton. So this is a cigar ad for Ashton cigars being paired with chicken cock.
But did you have a bottle of it?
No, I
Why?
just I
You
just
just like
saw
the
it.
name?
Well, I was thinking about the boardroom thing that we sometimes get into,
Oh, yeah. Who
and
pitched this name, chicken cock?
yeah,
to
because I think my comment to you was, um, seriously, let's call it chicken cock. That's gold. And then you have to do a little role play. Excuse me, barman. Mine's a cock on the rocks. So make it a double.
I had a good one.
Hey, you did. You take your cocks straight. I don't know. I guess you'd say neat.
Well, I
I
didn't
don't.
want to say neat. That wasn't as funny. Oh, they
You
had a distillery fire in 1890, though.
burn the old cocks, huh?
Yeah, burn cocks. I mean, it's a, yeah, from a marketing standpoint, I could see that, but
Well, there's got to be a story. There's got to, 18s, whatever, the hundreds or 1700s. What was the story? Is there an about?
it doesn't say about where the name came from or anything as I'm looking through it, but maybe if you had given me a little bit more
I know.
time.
I know.
So
That's one thing we don't have a lot of, Woody, is time.
yes, you do. Plenty of time.
I still got to pack tonight.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm taking travel.
Taking your bathing suit.
No, I'm travel wear up, down, wherever I'm going. Travel wear down. And then I'm packing a pair of dress slacks and 2 dress shirts, a tie, 2 ties probably, undershirts, underwear,
What if
sport
you spill
coat.
something on the pants, man?
They're black. I'll probably
Maybe
take a
you
pair. I'll
spill.
take okay. I'll take a pair of black pants and a pair of gray
Now
plants.
you're packing too much.
I
Now
know.
it's
See,
getting out
that's
of
why I don't
hand.
like doing that. Oh, I have a pretty cool thing. So we need bottled water, right? And so usually we have someone driving a car down separate apart. We can have that guy bring the bottled water, but I don't. I don't have anybody. So to get cases of water, it's pretty tough. So I called my friend in Orlando, Steve. If you're listening, Steve, thank you very much. And I
Well,
said, I
he
needed.
hasn't produced yet.
No, he will. I
Uh,
said, I hate to ask you, Steve, but are you going to be on this side of town? He goes, I'm actually going to be right there at that McDonald's. He does some business with some of the chains. And I said, can I ask you for 2 cases of water? Take it to the hotel and tell him to drop it off for Dave, and I'll pick it. I'll be there tomorrow. He says, I got you, brother. Isn't that cool?
I will be impressed if that water is still intact when you get there.
Yeah, well, got to believe in
Hey,
the system.
you're not going to believe this, but Chicken Cock Whiskey was voted best bourbon whiskey at one of the events.
Bourbon or rye?
I don't know. It just says Chicken Cock Whiskey. It says
It's rye.
Kentucky bourbon.
I guess you can have rye bourbon, can't you?
An
Isn't it rye?
8-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon.
Voted #1, huh?
Yeah, they
People
all
love the
win.
cock.
Everybody wins
Can't
something
get enough
somewhere.
of the cock.
There's a week that goes by that I don't get some headline about the world has voted on the best bourbon. And
It's all
it's always a
marketing, my
different one.
friend.
All right.
Are we there?
Well, yeah, we're there. Why don't you say goodnight?
So it's Thursday here in Hinterland. We're going spaces, right? We got to do it
I'll give you 7.5 minutes
to get ready or to do it.
to do it.
So we're gonna flip over right away.
We don't have to flip over right away, but I'm not hanging on there. I mean, so many people get on there, I can't hear myself.
I know it is a trouble. All right, let's get out of here then, because I got to get going and get packed. So I'm Dave,
I'm Woody.
and you've listened to yet another, let's say, informative episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody. And please, by all means, subscribe to us over on YouTube. Just mash the button, say yes, we want to be a subscriber. Doesn't cost you one silver nickel. No more red cents out there anymore.
Oh.
And listen to us on Spotify, Spreaker, Podcast Addict, and iHeartRadio. But Spotify, we are destined top 100, baby. Next 2 years, we are going. We're going to visualize it. We're going to put it to words. We're going to say it out loud, and we can see it.
Yeah.
Spotify top
The more
100.
people hear about this show will help us get to that.
Okay, you're starting to beg again. And if you listen to us, we appreciate it. But if you don't, we don't care. So, but whatever you do, please don't tell anybody about this show. Okay, for God's sakes, don't tell anyone. We'll see you later.